Make sure y'all can hear me. What up, good peoples? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, y'all. Welcome to Relationship Thursday. We are in the house. We in the house to make it do what it do. I'm glad that y'all are here. I don't think that y'all can see us quite yet, but y'all will see us in 1 second.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're gonna be having so many things going on. You got the background thing on. You got that ain't working good. What's happening, everybody? We hope you are good tonight. Are you good?
What's up, IG? What's up, TikTok? What up, YouTube?
Oh my goodness. It's been quite a day. Quite a day.
It definitely is.
What's happening, everybody? Happy Thursday. We're a little later on this evening because we got what you call it? An evacuation situation. You know, we're over here in California, so we have to stay alert. And I was like, oh, hell no. I just saw the word evacuation, like,
Yeah, I'm trying to get ready. I'm trying to get things set up. And then our 8-year-old, he runs upstairs.
You all excited.
Like, Mommy said it's time to evacuate. We got an evacuation order. And I'm kind of moving, like, you know, with a sense of, let me investigate this. Because sometimes
you always move slow.
Yeah, why you got to say slow? I said I had an investigative spirit.
Slower.
What you think is an evacuation order might be something.
Well, I just saw
different.
the word evacuate. I was wrong. We got an evacuation warning, which means you need to have a go bag ready, and they can, tell you to evacuate. So you need to make sure you're paying attention. See, I'm paying attention,
but I didn't have my phone on me though, so I didn't get the notice.
Maps.
I didn't get the notification on my because I didn't have my phone on me. So, but we here, y'all. We here. We are safe. We are thankful, and our prayers go to the people that's out here in Cali who have been adversely affected, who lost homes, and then for the families who lost a loved one. We definitely are sending prayers and positive energy. This thing is serious, y'all. You know, we dealing with winds where we are. And
it's everywhere. That's what the negative spread is. They're up to 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, Joe. But in terms of our situation, we had lawn furniture and pillows blown around, but that's the extent of what we experienced. I did smell some smoke when I was taking our daughter to the DMV. So that's the most that we've had, and hopefully that's the most that we'll get. But we just give y'all an update on the status of things over in our neck of the woods. And so, thank you, Regular. We appreciate that. Mm-hmm. So we here, y'all. We are here for Relationship Thursday, and the topic that we're going to be touching on tonight is one, real talk about, just be honest, I had initially intended to do it just for the men. And after doing some reflection, I said, hey, boo, this topic right here doesn't just have to be reserved for the men. It's something that's applicable to women as well. And so the title is Cultivating the Courage to Face Yourself and Fix Yourself. Cultivating the courage to face yourself and fix yourself. And a part of the reason why I was wanting to do it for men specifically is because right now, for those who don't know, I'm 1 week into our King Me 30-Day Intensive. The King Me 30-Day Intensive is a transformative experience, transformative 30-day event for men who want to become better men, better husbands, and better fathers. For dudes that's really trying to level up and get that work and focusing on self, but also focusing on family, focusing on career, different aspects of their life. And so I was saying to myself, like, a lot of times dudes don't be wanting to face themselves. You know, we're so externally focused in terms of trying to make sure things are situated and squared away that we're not doing the internal work that's needed in order for us to grow. And so, again, my initial intention was to say, dude, like, it's time for you to level up. And partly because I be seeing the bullshit that be out here. Like, I see no, I'm just going to keep it a buck. Like, I see the excuses. I see and I hear the lack of commitment. I'm seeing and I'm hearing the lack of consistency. I'm seeing and I'm hearing the lack of follow through. And that for me is problematic, because on the flip side, what I'm hearing is empty promises. And then I'm hearing complaints from wives who are expressing like an immense amount of dissatisfaction and frustration based off of the fact that, Slim, you're not on your game. And so, again, I created this 30-day intensive because I want us to be better as men. And I've seen what can happen when dudes lean into a process and level up.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, the evacuation thing came back on.
come to our phone. Alerts came again and messed up the stream.
So yes, I've seen the fakery and the just the slow rolling when it comes to really looking at self and leaning into doing your work. And again, sometimes we get focused and preoccupied with a whole bunch of distractions, and those distractions can make it seem like we doing stuff, but you can be busy. You can be busy, but still ain't doing the things that you need to be doing when it comes to your family, when it comes to your wife. And so if any of the fellas that are on here right now are interested, we 1 weekend, we got 21 days, 22 more days to go. You can go to kingmeintensive.com to get your spot. Or if you want IG, comment level up, or DM the word level up, and we'll follow up with you. But it's for dudes. And I'm seeing some significant shifts already early on in the process. And I commend, because there's some brothers that's on right now that's actually a part of it. I want to commend and salute the men who have chosen to face themselves so that they can fix themselves. I know it's not always easy. I know it's not fun, because we got some chin checkers that be in the room. We got some support and some accountability, and not everybody is up for it. But again, it's all coming from a place of love. And so shout out to the fellas that's participating in the process, and we're going to make it do what it do. So again, fam, this topic is cultivating the courage to face yourself so you can fix yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What you got to say? Are you just in here eating ramen and you doing your thing, huh? This is what you're doing? Are you participating in this live stream? Like, what is you doing? So yeah, y'all. So when it comes to cultivating the courage, I mean, I don't care. You can keep on eating. When it comes to cultivating the courage,
I haven't eaten anything all day.
Whose fault is that?
I just had to run and get this real fast.
When it comes to cultivating the courage to face yourself in order to fix yourself, one of the things that I want to elevate is okay.
And then I'll just say some of that too.
Okay.
I'll be right back. For real. I'll be right back.
It's supposed to be both of us doing this
I'm doing it.
But my wife, she like, she need to face herself when it comes to making sure she eat prior to us doing this. And so anyway, when it comes to facing yourself, y'all, this whole facing yourself piece is so important. And a lot of times there's resistance for us to face ourselves because of fear. Like, we're afraid of what it is that we're going to see. We don't want to deal with the reality of some pains that we may have experienced in the past. A lot of us are dealing with like traumas and stuff that doesn't feel good, doesn't look good, doesn't smell or taste good. And as a result, like, we're trying to get away from it. And so we are, unwilling to take a look at ourselves because we don't want to see what it is that that's going to be looking back at us. If you got any childhood traumas, any wounds, any adverse childhood experiences, then a lot of that stuff is going to take you back to that mommy, daddy, maybe even sibling relationship dynamic that you had in your formative years. And sometimes that stuff, it don't feel good. Some of y'all are dealing with issues around abuse. Some of y'all are dealing with issues around neglect. And so when it comes to how you're showing up in your relationship, you may have developed an anxious or an avoidant attachment style, which leads you to a place where you're showing up in your relationship in a way in which sometimes you may be creating issues because it's difficult for you to be extremely connected. Your norm has become dysfunction. Your norm has become chaos. Your norm has become the histrionics and the extreme fluctuations that may occur in a relationship. And so you find yourself again doing stuff, sometimes intentionally, but also unintentionally to jack it all up. So you got to be willing to see yourself, fam. If it's happening, if you're doing it, you got to be willing to see yourself and acknowledge yourself and say that I'm contributing to the chaos that currently exists in my relationship. I'm partly responsible for co-creating this reality. I'm doing it with God. I'm doing it with my partner. And I'm doing it with my lower self. The dysfunction, the chaos, that cantankerous relationship that you may be engaged in is one that of course is unhealthy, but it leads to extended disconnect. And so my challenge for you is that when it comes to cultivating the courage, like, do you have the courage to look at you? Do you got the courage to look at self? Do you got the courage to, just acknowledge that your shit stink? Do you got the courage to acknowledge that some things may have happened, but also don't blame yourself for what has happened? That requires courage too. I'm clear that a lot of times what we're doing is we're looking for a place to point the finger. We're looking for somebody to blame, and sometimes the person that we're trying to blame is ourselves. We end up blaming ourselves.
Oh.
And what I'm saying to you is that you're more than what you've done. You're more than what you've done. You're more than that situation or event that you experienced that led you to a place to tell everybody, back the up. You're more than that. And so I'm encouraging you to give yourself grace. And I want you to cultivate the courage to face yourself so you can see the more that you are. I want you to see that all that God has created you to be. And if there's any fear that's attached to that, that's why it's important to get into a safe space so that you can be surrounded by men and women who got your back and who are willing to journey with you in that process.
That's good. Can I say a little something about fear?
I was waiting for when you was going to come in here. I was waiting for you to show up. What was that song? You tardy to the party, bro.
I was here on time. I was here with you.
No, you weren't here.
I was just eating. That's why I just had to step off. Let me just go ahead and, let me go ahead and handle this. Let me get in this. Let me knock this out real quick. Let me say, you know how you just be eating like rapidly? Because you're just hungry. You're not hungry, but you're hungry. You just had to handle it sometimes. But let me talk about fear real quick. And let me just say a word, if I can, about the ways in which fear disguises itself, particularly in our relationships. Can you turn that light up on us? In our relationships, and there are a few ways that it disguises itself, and many of you may be doing some of these things and you don't recognize it, that this is a function of fear. So it's one thing to say, I'm gonna stop operating in fear and I'm gonna start to lean in and do the work, but some of us don't even know. We don't even know that that's what we're doing. We don't even know that we're operating from a place of fear. And so one of the things that oftentimes people don't really see as a fear-based kind of way of being is avoidance of conflict. Trying to avoid the conflict, trying to keep the peace, trying to, or saying things like, it ain't gonna matter, somebody ain't gonna bring it up because he ain't gonna be trying to listen, or she ain't gonna change, so it don't even matter. So you're just avoiding the conflict, right? Keeping the peace because you're not trying to have a long conversation. But in many ways, there is a fear underlying that's motivating you to keep the status quo instead of get a little sticky with it and work through it. People pleasing is fear. It's fear of not being approved of, fear of not being loved or liked. It's not rational all the time. It's not like you would ever say, I think you don't love me, right? But these are like core feelings a lot of times that we have in our spirits and out of our childhood. Control, micromanaging, and being overly critical of your partner, of yourself, of your relationship, of your environment. Folks who are overly critical, I know a little something about that. I used to be that way. Hallelujah, I'm delivered. I don't have that. I still can be a little, I can get into it, but not in the way that I used to be. What you say? I have to always confirm. That's what you got to do. You got to confirm with your partner, so you can be thinking you somewhere you're really not. But being overly critical is a fear, oftentimes of being let down. And so if I don't have to be in a place where I'm being let down because it's already down, you already be messing up all the time. Like, I just keep myself down. I don't have to experience any real joy, and I don't have to necessarily experience any satisfaction because I'm already perpetually dissatisfied with your ass. You know what I'm saying? So when we do that, that is a fear. And so we're trying to control the situation and control the perception of things in order to feel secure. Emotional walls. Putting up walls, that's a fear of feeling and letting the love in, fear of connection, and of course, being let down, perhaps abandoned, whatever. Passive aggressive behavior is a fear. Oh, yes, all the passive aggressive people in the house. Your partner said, dang, why you be like that, right? You know, you're indirectly expressing your feelings because you are trying to avoid the intensity and the uncertainty of being direct and saying what it is you feel. And so you're being passive aggressive. There's a fear of that direct conversation. I can go on and on.
Yeah.
I can go on and on. But fear pops up and shows up in so many ways in our relationship. And until we really start to see ourselves, we'll psych ourselves out all the time. Just think, oh yeah, that's just how I be. No, you scared. And that's okay, because we all are in some way, shape, or form. But we got to be willing to see it, acknowledge it, and then we can begin to change it. You can't see right there.
So when it comes to this whole fear piece, I saw we had a question on TikTok that said, how do you conquer the fear? And what I would say is the other day our daughter actually was yesterday. Sometimes you got children that just want to push buttons and say certain things and get a reaction out of you. Everybody that's got multiple children got a child like that. All right. If you got a child like that, type of one in the chat. But so I think that she asked me a question because I think she was genuinely interested. Actually, no, I think she was just trying to see what I was going to say. And so she asked me, she said, are you in fear?
She did?
She did. She asked me, she said, are you in fear? And this is all related to this whole fire situation in California. And so what I said was like, no, I'm not in fear. I'm informed. That's what I said. I said, I'm informed. And so for the person who asked the question, like, how do you conquer the fear? To feel afraid is one thing. But the more information that you have, the more informed that you have, it helps to minimize and reduce that whole aspect of you being in fear. Mm-hmm. And so has anybody had a situation, whether it be medical, whether it be financial, whether it be educational, you had a conversation that you had to have. You had to call somebody, talk to somebody. Your child needs to get into school. Certain things needs to take place. A bill needs to be paid. So a conversation needs to be had, and you're afraid. You're moving in fear because you're anticipating what the outcome is going to be. And so as a result, you don't make the move. But when you do make a move and you get informed,
right,
then what that does is it reduces the fear, and you realize that it wasn't, in many instances, as bad as you thought that it was going to be. So what I would say is get information. Mm-hmm. Get information and get information. And when you do that, again, what it does is help to assuage any concerns, any fears that you may have. And even if you have the fear, it helps to give you confidence about what the next step may be so you can keep on moving. So get informed, y'all. Get informed instead of just sitting in fear.
That's good. That's good. So tonight, y'all, we're talking about, cultivating the courage to face yourself, to fix yourself. And y'all notice that first word is cultivate. Cultivate means to grow. It means to, really be able to build something, to plant, to cultivate, to put some energy towards whatever it is you say you're cultivating. I mean, the movies will have us all believe that some people just gangster like that. We just, and some folks are, a little more courageous. They may have, more experience with certain things, whatever, or they just have that kind of spirit about them. But all of us in some way deal with fear and deal with just this unwillingness and inability. I'm not going to say inability, but oftentimes an unwillingness to be able to look at ourselves and really do the work we need to fix ourselves. So we want to share with you a few things tonight that you can cultivate to start focusing on yourself. And if you don't know, if you hadn't been able to tell by now, on tonight's live or in any live you see us, relationship work is personal work. We focus a lot on self-development and on what you need to do with and in yourself, because that automatically impacts the relationship. It absolutely contributes to the satisfaction you feel, the abilities that you have to connect in, to perceive what your partner's trying to give, to not be in a place of black and white thinking everything is effed up when the glass is half full. It's not all bad. All of those things come out of our own personal sense of self and our ability to be grounded. And if you ain't got that, you could have the best thing ever. Your partner could be stepping all the way right today. You could really have the life that somebody else is like, dang, you really blessed. And you looking at your stuff and looking at your man or your woman and like, this is this is some boo-boo. You know what I mean? You don't even know what you got because you have no sense of self. You have no sense of your own personal work because your filter is off and it's skewed. Or you have, for real, as most of us do, legitimate challenges, legitimate issues that, you really are struggling with, and they're legitimate. But why is it that the next person and the next person and the next person, why are we all dealing with the same things or similar things, but some people are able to continue stepping, they're able to get the lesson, they're able to keep moving, they're able to make a connection, they're able to reframe because they are willing and really intentional about cultivating the courage to face themselves so that they can fix themselves. Okay.
I see on IG, Joshua said, I want to join. Are you talking about this live right here? Or are you talking about what I was talking about in terms of the King Me 30-day intensive? If you're interested in that, comment level up. If you're talking about the live, let us know.
Level up?
Yeah, level up. Level up. Let me say this before you go into the examples about, you about to talk about ways to cultivate courage?
Yeah.
I just want to provide some evidence, y'all. I want to provide some evidence that when it comes to brothers doing the work, and sisters as well, there are dudes who are on here right now that have shown a tremendous amount of growth individually and in their relationship. And this whole piece around facing yourself, like I know of men who are on right now that did not have relationships with their mom, for an extended period of time, for like decades. And now they do because they leaned in and did the work. I know of dudes that are on right now that, had to have conversations with children and needed to create a safe space. And because they leaned in, they did the work. Dudes who were struggling with alcoholism and substance use and sleeping in separate bedrooms who made a decision to level up and leaned in and did their work. And so what I'm saying to you is that these examples are from real life dudes who cultivated the courage to face themselves. That's what this is about, like cultivating the courage to face yourself. And so for the men who are on here, for the women who are on here, if you're dealing with infidelity, whatever it is that you may be dealing with, you got to cultivate the courage to face yourself. You got to. It's important. So you wanted to give some things that you can do?
I do.
They said bring them on. You know how to do that? You want to do that?
I don't even know how to do the thing. I don't even know how to do the thing. That's on you, babe.
We're going to try. If we jack it up, y'all, hopefully YouTube, Blamely, y'all are here. Hopefully TikTok, y'all are here. But we're going to try this real quick.
Okay, while my husband is fiddling around.
I'm going to say this. If you were, what they call them people? Bots. Then,
I don't even know why you about to listen. We ain't ever done this before. He going to try today.
I'm going to try.
All right, go right ahead then. While you doing that, let me echo something I said earlier. And I really want you to think about this. When we talk about this fear thing, and I know a lot of people don't really align with the word fear. You don't even realize you're afraid, A lot of fear. What's up, Marsha on the washer? What's up? Anytime that's going on, then you know what I'm saying? You must be really growing or about to grow or getting into a place you're about to grow. Let me find out we did it. What's happening, sir?
We did it. Joshua, I believe. You requested to join, bro?
Now, can he hear us?
I think so. It's our first time doing this. But if you got a question, if you got something that you want to say, the folks is looking at you.
I don't think so.
You're getting your haircut right now, so I don't think that you really meant that. But in any event, we're gonna remove you off of here.
If you know how.
If I know how, yeah. If I know how.
All right. So, okay, y'all. So again, it's funny. Reframe, and understand that when we're engaged in some of those behaviors, it's about growing, and you're never going to be completely comfortable when you are really growing. So if you are growing, you are for sure going to be in some fear, and there's nothing wrong with that. I also want to say this piece is really important, and this is really just about reflection. Ain't nobody here I shouldn't say nobody, but most people are not new to this idea. A lot of people don't want to journal. You don't want to take,
I should have did that. I don't even know how.
I said, what are you doing, y'all?
I'm trying to.
I mean, why are you talking about that?
If somebody just type in the chat, let me know how to remove somebody.
I just on here just fiddling all over the place with the Instagram. Y'all look, if you go look at what's going on over here. Anyway, I don't forget what I was dang on saying. But basically, I was trying to say, reflecting. You need to journal. You need to capture your thoughts in some way. Take a pad around with you. Put it in your pocket day to day. Have a little small one. Write your notes down. Capture your thoughts. Capture your thoughts. Be curious about your thoughts. Investigate your thoughts. Don't identify with your thoughts. A thought is a thought. A feeling is a feeling. Oh, let me park here for a second. You can have thoughts, and those thoughts give way to feelings, and those feelings give way to you having a better understanding about where you are or where you are not on any given day, around a certain situation, around your boo or whatever the case may be, right? It gives you information, but too many of us identify with our feelings as who we are. I know this is going over some of y'all's heads, but you think that because you feel a certain way, let me find out you're doing things. You feel a certain way, and you're having all of these thoughts that are coming like this is the truth, and this is what it is, and this is what you got to rely on. You definitely need to take note of your thoughts and your feelings, but then you need to take a moment to sit down and have a process to examine them. You can't believe everything you think, and you can't go with everything you feel. And half the time, the issues that people have in relationships, intimate or otherwise, is because they have no ability to discern, oh man, there I go tripping again. There's no practice with calling your own self out. Man, I'm tripping. Like, there I go, going down that road of, not believing, not trusting, whatever. Let me get myself together. I'm not even going to give that thought a whole lot of energy. I'm not even going to entertain that feeling to whip his ass. I'm not even going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because there I go being me. Some of us have no ability to do that. And if you don't focus on anything else in 2025, particularly as it relates to being able to master being in a successful relationship, you got to first understand that the relationship that you have with yourself, the ability to know yourself, to know how you be, to have compassion for yourself, to see yourself, to be able to get in front of a trigger and be like, I already know how I be. So let me go ahead and figure out some things I can do proactively so that I can set myself up for success in this conversation. Everything I'm telling you, you can apply this to your workplace. What is going on with that? You can apply this to your conversations with your children. You can apply this anywhere, but it's about knowing who you are. And it's about really being able to have a good sense of your limits, of the places where you can expand, but you'll never know that if you don't take time to reflect. Too many people using all your time watching television, looking at all the things, you know what I'm saying? You don't know yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't know yourself. And then you get mad at your partner because they're not meeting your needs. They might meet your needs. They're just not doing it for you. And when I ask you, when you come sit across from me, well, what do you need? Mm. You don't know. You know what you don't like. You know what you don't want, but you don't know who you are, and you don't know what you need. And then once you start to get clear about what you need, you have no sense of whether or not you're supposed to meet that need, or they should be doing it, or perhaps God should be doing it. And perhaps you're expecting from your partner something that you should be doing for yourself, or perhaps you're relying on yourself for something that you should be relying on God for. Oh, did she say it? I said it. And when we can really get clear and make distinctions between these things, then and only then will we be able to have true harmony within ourselves, true harmony within our relationships. Only then. And the only way you get there is slow down, set your ass down, and reflect. I'm going to say what one of our Black family members used to say. She reached out to me today. Recollect. She said, you just got to take some time to recollect. You know how you recall and reflect at the same time? Recollect. Just go on back and pay attention to yourself and how you did this and how you did that. You can get to the harmony, but you have to be intentional. So cultivating courage really, really is motivated by knowledge of self. When you know yourself, you have more courage, you have more confidence. When you're not, I was watching a movie that I had my husband watch with me the other day. When I see movies and they like, somebody said something that's like, oh, that is really good. I always like remember it because I don't be remembering stuff, but I remember this. Do you remember this part? So first of all, it's not even the type of movie that we typically watch, but because he controls all the movie watching, he only wants to watch
I like watching thrillers.
yeah, and suspense and all of that,
Yeah.
right? So I be having to like, please, I be having to push through. Like, I think I should be able to choose sometime. You know what I'm saying? Like, raise my hand. Like, can I please?
And I be trying throwing tantrums a little bit too, y'all. Like silent, like fits and active and resistance to when my wife she wants to propose.
I'm glad you know that, and I'm glad that you know
it.
that you do that.
Yeah, I do.
But that's how I'm like thinking. Like, do you really think that this is okay for you to just pick the movie 17 times in a row? Why is you like you act like an only child out this joint?
I do.
Yeah, because most of the time, you know, I let them get.
You be like the movies, though. You enjoy the picks that I make. Like,
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't do any scary. I'm not doing that. But I mean, you know, for the most part. But sometimes I'd like to see something other than people running around and their hearts like racing fast. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we watched something called. Are y'all familiar with this movie? It's called. Is it called Family Stone?
Yeah.
I think it might be out right now on Netflix or somewhere. Maybe. I mean, it's an old movie. It ain't new, but it's called Family Stone. And it's just a movie. It's really like a holiday movie, but it's really a movie just showing a family and all their dynamics with adult children and you know the older parents and all of that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm taking so long to get to the damn point. But the the one of the sons, they had a girlfriend who they you know had been dating and they were bringing her to the house. They were both coming home for the holidays, and he was bringing the girlfriend, and he planned on asking her to marry him. And the parents were talking about the young lady because she was very how did she present? How would you say she presented in the movie? Like
you say anal.
Yeah, she was kind of anal and tight and like you know saying stuff like nobody likes me, and she was just really like anxious, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not if you meet her, you'd be like, oh, you ain't no fun. Like, get the stick about your ass. You probably think that. But what the daddy said, finally, I'm getting to the point. What the daddy said, was, the mom said, what do you think about her? Or something like that. And he said, she doesn't seem to know herself very well. Do you remember that part?
No.
I mean, listening. Get on my nerves. Anyway, he said she doesn't seem to know herself very well. And he said, and that concerns me because then that means that our son probably doesn't know himself.
Oh yeah, I do remember that part. Yeah, I do remember.
And I just, I thought that was so like, yes, she was presenting with unsure energy. That is it. And I just was like, wow, like that's something that's simple. But of all the things I'm saying, she's anal and she's like, she's not cool. She's like all stuck up and stiff and whatever and tight. But he said she doesn't seem to know herself very well. So we don't recognize the ways that we come across to other people and how it looks any number of ways when we don't know ourselves. And I thought that was just really profound. So I know it took a while to get to the point, but knowing yourself, it does a body good.
Yeah, and in terms of knowing yourself, I've had a few conversations recently. A few folks have reached out to me, and expressed a desire to more deeply know themselves. So for those of y'all who are Instagram and TikTok, we're both trained therapists, relationship coaches, and they reached out to me specifically around the issue of infidelity, and I'm lifting this up because if you found yourself in patterns of behavior, whether you sit in the seat of the unfaithful or you sit in the seat of the person who's been betrayed, like you may be able to identify certain patterns of behavior in your life and in your relationship that leads you to a place where you keep bumping your head up against the wall. You keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And as a result, you're constantly you're in this cycle of pain. You're perpetuating pain, you're perpetuating hurt. And in many instances, like, you express verbally, I don't want this, but you feel stuck. You feel stuck. And so, the folks that have reached out to me is that thing about feeling stuck and wanting to be free. Yeah. Wanting to experience something new and something fresh and really get through, which is why we created our breakthrough program. And just being able to dive deeper into looking at your issues and understanding self better. On the temple walls of one of the temples in Egypt. It says, "Man no self, man no self." Like it's important that you know thyself, so that you can actually grow thyself. For those of y'all who, especially if you're dealing with infidelity, if you're on IG or even if you're on TikTok, we may go back and look at the comments and on YouTube. Type in the word breakthrough. Type in the word breakthrough or DM us the word breakthrough. We got a training coming up on Monday where we're talking about overcoming infidelity specifically, and so you'll get information about that. But I'm just lifting that up because folks who find themselves dealing with that issue, it's like, yo, I need to know why I keep doing this. Why I keep doing it. Why I keep finding myself here with the same person. Why do I keep putting myself in a position in which I'm hurting my partner in the way in which I am? And so they really want healing, and would want to experience something new. Become a new person. And so again, if that's something that you're interested in, type breakthrough in the comments.
It's good. All right, y'all. I think we are complete.
Yeah.
We talked tonight. You said I tried to move slow. Like, are we complete, my dear?
Yeah, session to run to.
But I'm really appreciative of everybody who hung out with us this evening. And if you were anything dropped out into your spirit and you said, "Oh man, like I'm really feeling that," really take time to sit with that, pay attention to that, and know that it only takes a moment. It takes just a moment of a decision to go to another level in your life, in your relationship. It's all about choices. We all get the same choice. We all get the same 24 hours in a day, no matter how busy we are, how much of a stressful job we have, how many kids we have. Yes, some folks got way more than others. Some got less than others. But let me tell you something. I remember somebody asked me, people asked me this multiple times, but people ask me, because, we got 5 kids. If you don't know, we have 5 children. And they say like, wow, like, is it just so like, did it become so hard once you had 2, or was it 3, or what about, was it 4? Did it just blow up? Like, and you know what I said? And I believe this today, and this has been my experience. I felt just as busy, overwhelmed, had a lot going on, had a lot to do and take care of with 1 as I did with 5. Now, I know that there are differences for sure. There are logistical differences, there's money differences, a whole lot of differences, okay? But I'm just saying, in terms of like all the things you have to do and all the things you have to attend to, right? It still felt the same way to me. It still felt like, oh, I have to do this. I got to get him scheduled for this and sign him up for that. And then it became 3. Well, I got to get them. Then it became 5. Like, so my point is that we all are dealing with a lot. But until and unless you prioritize with all of the stuff you have going on yourself, until you put yourself on the schedule, until you take the time to do some of the things that seem like, oh my God, I got stuff to really do. You want me to go take a walk and reflect? The fuck? Recollect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could really take that minute, that 30 minutes right there and really get into something and knock some things off. Yeah, you can do that all day. But we got to be intentional about how we attend to ourselves and stop attending to everybody else while we set ourselves up for a whole breakdown. You know what I mean? A whole breakdown. I see on here, KY Yaya said, my husband and I have been married 20 years, 25 together, never dealt with infidelity, but the tips you all share to keep your marriage together are on point. Necessary reminders. Keep going. Respect to you, the 20 and 25. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Before we go, you asked me if there was anything else. I've been shouting out the men, but I just want to shout you out.
Oh, me?
I do. I want to shout you out, for the work that you're doing with women.
Thank you, babe.
And, I've seen major shifts and transformations in you that I've been blessed by and that I'm thankful for. But outside of me, I'm happy for you.
Oh, thank you, boo, baby.
Yeah, and I know a number of women have been blessed based off you just doing even your work and going to the next levels. So, I salute you, boo. You're doing the damn thing.
I receive it, King. I receive it. Thank you. Really. All right, everybody. Be easy. Pray for us out here in these California streets. We always be like, we Patty, we'd be like, people be saying, "Oh, so cold." We'd be like, "Oh, really? Yeah, it's like 73 here. It's like 70." And I'm like, "It's too hot now. It's only damn fires."
Because it's hot, because it's low humidity.
I know, but also because of the dryness and the wind and the fact that we get lots of heat over here. You know what I'm saying? And it don't be no other way. So pray for us. Pray for us. All right, everybody. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Stop playing and start pushing. Bye. Bye, y'all. Bye, Instagram.